Day 29. The artist's Muse. And what I'm going to do today is soap ink art, which was a little bit of an interesting experiment for me. That's a nice song too. Spin Flower, Rock by Lance Tabor. There's a few of these guys I've got to download. How is everybody doing today? I'm doing terrific. And with all this time to create, reflect, and create some more, problem solve, excuse me, I look to inspire myself and muse. I find color, texture, various artworks, which are a source of that inspiration that fuels my spark. I also read quotes, and as well as do a light reading in the morning, sometimes about 5 to 10 minutes. And I have a couple of quotes here that I wanted to share with you today, day 29. I am my own muse. I am the subject I know best, the subject I want to better. And that's by Frida Kahlo. I may be saying her name wrong. And the next quote is, I used to think I was the strangest person in the world, but then I thought, there are so many people in the world. There must be someone just like me who feels bizarre and flawed in the same ways I do. I would imagine her and imagine that she must be out there thinking of me too. Well, I hope that if you are out there and read this and know that, yes, it's true, I'm here. I'm just as strange as you, by Frida Kahlo. And Frida, excuse me, is a Mexican painter known for her self-portraits, and works were inspired by nature, what surrounded her, and the artifacts of Mexico. I found her quote, her last one, really interesting. And that is because as creative people, as creative people, there are times in our movement through the arts, or whatever it is that we're doing, that we may appear strange. Or I think one artist in Saskatchewan had said to me that artists are very highly charged and emotional. I don't know what she's talking about. It's because we are transforming what we see, visualize, and bringing it through here, and feeling, touch, tasting what it is that we're experimenting with. And again, creative people, I'm talking to all of those of you out there that aspire and dive into the things of your pleasure, whether it be food, clothing, color, sculpture, music, dance. And we are inspired. How are we inspired? We are inspired by others. I know for the arts myself that I get inspired or charged when my students share with me. And when the next time I may share with you some of my students' artwork, you'll see it on my website. And if you are visiting or peeking in, please leave your name and where you're from, or just leave where you're from. I'd be interested in knowing who's popping in and listening at this time, and what you think. Has any of this been of any inspiration? My focus was to take and tithe, what they say, tithe, or pay it forward in 30 days of creativity with you. And so now let's move in to what I've been experimenting with, and I've got to make sure that I have just a minute. Okay, so we're gonna peek down to the iPhone and look at what I'm gonna show you today. All right, I'm kicking a paintbrush on the floor. I'm just going to grab some paper towel because what I'm going to show you today is, remember, leave a comment or a smilesy on the comment field. Introduce yourself to me. Where are you from? Okay, this is actually, it's bubbles. And what I've done is I've taken shampoo, and of course we always have that left over in the bottom of the shampoo bottle. Why waste it? Okay, so I get it really worked up here. Do lots of neat bubbles. And you want to get watercolor paper. I'm still trying to figure out how to do this on canvas. This is watercolor paper canvas set. And you can get it at any paint store. This is 11 by 15. You get about 15 sheets. What I did was I cut it into 6 different shapes, and I used my fancy zigzag scissors, which I also got at art store. I think that at the dollar store they have them as well. Okay. Now you get to make sure that this is nice and foamy. You know what I thought of? I thought of using a blender, plug it in, turn on the beaters, electric beater, get this really foamy. And I came across this idea when I was using mousse, and the hair mousse didn't turn out the way I wanted. I've tried acrylic paints, they're too heavy. But here we go. You can get a package of these, and it's they're inks. Okay. I think I paid $25 for this set. They're high flow ink. I try and use them minimally, and so this is what the package looks like. Upside down, I know, high flow, but I'm holding them because it won't stay on my hand very well. Now, what we want to do is drop a couple of drops there, and separate them a bit. Right here. Okay. Over here. Okay. And I put white in the center. Okay. Your piece of paper. You can go like this. Get it smushed around just a little bit. And this is so much better than the alcohol. I wasn't quite intrigued about that when I was sampling with it the other day. Put this in. And I love this watercolor paper because it's not as heavy as the other one that I used. The heavier one didn't really work as well. And then pull it out slowly. Okay, maybe it needs to go back in again. And I do is push it down. I think my bubbles are dying out. Yeah, okay. That one, you're gonna see, like, I like that. So let's encourage it a bit. Don't stir it because it'll become one color. And I think that maybe I have crooked. So try again. Why not? Move this, hold it so it's flat, push it down. You can do this also with food coloring. Okay. Now, take a corner. And if you ever watched marbling, and they've done this with spray paint and water, it's almost the same kind of idea. Okay, this didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but it's nice and light. When I did one earlier, this is what I received. So you can get a little bit crazier with the colors. Let's get crazy with a little color here. Doesn't seem to want to pick up. Okay. We put a little red in there, and I hope I don't get red on my clothes. Like, I'm experimenting with you, and I think the greatest thing is just don't worry about it. Play. I think that slide this in under like this. Let's try that. Push down to, maybe that's what we need to do, is push down. Okay. And lift up the corner. Huh? Okay, I'm going to show you something else. This is soaking wet. So we got the background is layer 1. Okay, but you see that I'm going to take some of that green water. Okay, and I'm lacking the hands here. Just a second while I pull off. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see what this does. And of course you need a lot of hands. I don't like to leave my acrylics open because what happens is they get dry inside. This is kind of like a I like that color. That is fantastic. That's the mood I'm in. Right there. That's the one I really, really like. And I'm just going to put a little white into there. And over here. A little bit more green water back there. You can see the bubbles. I would encourage you to, use the blender. Let's see how the blender works. This one back here was the same. And what I do with those is what I do is I write affirmations or thank you. These are now going to become thank you cards. Thank you cards, or attach them to gifts, or exchange them in gratitude, or hang them up on your fridge. The list is, the kids can do this, and a lot of the work that we do as artists is just from our creative people. It's just from what we have lying around, whether you're in the kitchen. I've seen some, like, again, creativity in the kitchen. I had no clue that cinnamon would work really great in spaghetti sauce, and I thought that was creative. I'm experimenting with all kinds of herbs in my recipes and exploring different gardening, and so the list goes on. Now, if you've really liked what I've presented and you come back as a replay, please put replay and leave some comments, subscribe, and this way I'll know by tomorrow if you would like to do another few days. Maybe it won't be a challenge, but you could share your interest with me. So what moves you as a creative person? What is it? Share it down in the comments. And again, I love you guys, and we look forward to tomorrow, the 30 days, celebrating 30 days with you. Bye-bye for now. Love you all.